Hey guys, so I'm so happy to be back. It's been a while since I filmed. I've been sick. My voice is a little raspy. So I do apologize if my voice is a little bit off. I was sick for a couple of weeks, so I haven't been able to film. Luckily, I did film before I got sick. So you guys have still been seeing videos and content here on my channel. Today we're going to be talking about some new products from Wet n Wild, and this is not everything, but this is so far everything I've got my hands on. I've been testing all these products out, except for one thing that I do plan on doing a separate video on. I'm going to do a first impressions on this bad boy right here. Alright, so let's go ahead and get into it. We have a lot of products to talk about. Alright, first up, let's talk about the Wet n Wild Photo Focus Eyeshadow Primer. Now, I was really curious to see if this was the exact same thing as the Fergie eyeshadow primer from the Fergie line. If you guys remember, Wet n Wild had a line called the Fergie line from the, the singer Fergie, and they discontinued it. So a lot of products that were in that line, they did bring over to the permanent Wet n Wild line. So some things here are brand new, and then some things are just repackaged or reformulated, so to speak. So don't worry if you did like that Fergie eyeshadow primer. This one here is called the Photo Focus eyeshadow primer, which is really confusing. They did not keep the same names as the Fergie line. So yeah, it might be a little confusing. But this eyeshadow primer is great. It applies really nicely. Doesn't have much coverage, but it does prevent my eyeshadow from creasing. You guys know I've been using the Fergie one for forever. So it's the same exact thing, guys. It's just in a different packaging. It's white instead of all black without the Fergie name on there. Alright, the next product here, I don't have the packaging for it, but this is, I don't remember the name. Okay, it's called the Wet n Wild Illuminati Highlighting and Concealing Pen, and I did get the shade Ivory-in-to. Okay, I love Wet n Wild, but these names are just ridiculous. Like, come on, really? Wet n Wild Illuminati? So this is just one of those click-up pens, and it comes out of the brush applicator here, so you can just paint this on. This is very creamy. It's very hydrating. It gives light to somewhat medium coverage, but this is very moisturizing. I did find it a little bit difficult to build the coverage because it is so liquid-like and creamy. The color here, the light, this is the very lightest shade, and this is actually too dark for me. So if you are my skin tone or lighter, girl, you might want to skip out on this because it was definitely not highlighting or brightening at all. I actually had to go over, as you'll see here in the demo, I had to go over with my other concealer, which is LA Girl, and I'm going to swatch them side by side. You guys can see. As you can see here, Porcelain is much lighter, and this matches me perfectly from LA Girl Cosmetics. Another thing I did not like is that the writing, can you see here? The writing came off, and actually it got all over my fingers, and I touched my face with the ink on my fingers, and it was a disaster. So the first couple of times I used this, I got ink all over my fingers, so definitely be careful when you're handling this. I definitely won't repurchase this. It's not something I can really recommend because I'm just not that thrilled. I like full coverage concealers. I highly recommend the LA Girl one over the Wet n Wild one. Alright, let's talk about a new eyeliner pen, but I think that this is just repackaged. The Wet n Wild PROLINE Felt Tip Eyeliner, and I did get the color Black Noir. The formula is very similar to their liquid liner, and I do find that this sometimes can crack throughout the day and flake off. The other thing I don't like is that the applicator feels really stiff, and I felt like it was kind of scratching my eye. So if you have really dry eyelids and sensitive skin, I don't know if I could recommend this to you because it was really difficult to apply. I don't know, I kind of feel 50-50 about this. I was able to get a nice wing liner, so I do like it. Would I repurchase? I don't know, maybe not. It's like one of those weird products, like you love it, but then you hate it at the same time. Alright, next up we have another product from the Photo Focus collection. They have like a whole line of these products. So this is a lash primer. So this claims to fortify and condition lashes, promotes lash health, enhances volume. So you apply this first, and then you go in with your mascara over top. Now as you can see here when I'm applying it, it does come out very white, and I do actually like the wand, and the applicator actually applies product really nicely. I've used this many times, and it just doesn't do anything, guys. It adds a little bit more volume to my mascara, but I'm not that thrilled with it. It's okay, but I just didn't see any extravagant thing happening. I would say skip. Alright, next up we have some brushes from Wet n Wild. I know everyone's been raving about these brushes from Wet n Wild. They came out with this line of brushes. They're really cute. They have a white handle. It just says Wet n Wild here on the side. And the brushes are kind of a white and it fades into a pink at the very, very top. So here is the flat top kabuki brush. It's very thin. Do you see how thinly packed this is? It's just not dense enough. It moves around way too much and I feel like it makes my foundation look streaky and horrible. I do not like this for foundation or BB cream. I do, however, have been using it for blush, just to kind of dab on a little blush here and there, but overall, I did not like this one. This one is the eyeshadow brush, and this is just a flat eyeshadow brush. It is fairly dense, and it's more flat than fluffy, so this is great for packing on eyeshadow all over the lid. This one I would definitely recommend. It's not like blowing my mind. I mean, for 99 cents, it's not bad, you know, it works. It gets the job done. I feel like I would rather get a nice brush set for, like, say, BH Cosmetics, like their Sculpt and Blend set, where the bristles are so nice and dense and they apply product so nicely. I know that these are really affordable, but I just wasn't that thrilled, you guys. I'm sorry, but I'm not that thrilled. We have the Wet n Wild. This is called the Bow to the Brow Ultimate Brow Mascara. I picked the color Nothing But Brunette, and this is a really interesting product. I'm so happy to see Wet n Wild coming out with like more brow stuff. So once I'm completely done filling in my brows with powder or pencil or pomade or whatever, I just go in, I scrape off the edge because, you know, there's always a little bit too much product on the wand. It is more of a really wet formula. It's not, there's no fibers in here that, from what I can tell up close. One thing I don't like about this is that it feels really stiff. I have it in my brows now and it feels kind of crunchy. Let me just say that once this is in your brows, you cannot fix it. So if you mess up and you get like a smudge here on the side, you're going to have to take some makeup remover to get it off. So if you really want your brows to stay in place, this is going to work, man. It's going to keep your brows in place. So I do like it, but you have to be really careful. I would not suggest putting just this in your brows because I found that when I did that, it would get all messy, and then when you try to clean it up, it won't go anywhere. There's some pros and cons to this product, but it's definitely worth a try. I definitely recommend it because it does work and it does fill in your brows. Alright guys, let's talk about some new blushes. Really excited for these. These are the new ombre blushes. There's only 3 shades. I'm going to go through each one and swatch them for you. Really quick on the formula. They're really soft. They're really buttery. Blend into the skin beautifully. I am wearing a couple of them today, layered on top of each other, and I really love how it looks. These are very light colors, so I don't know how these are going to cater to all skin tones, but I think these are going to look beautiful on fair to maybe very, very pale skin, light to somewhat medium skin tones. These are very shimmery blushes out. They're not chunks of glitter. They're more of a satin finish, so it's almost like a blush and highlighter mixed together, and they've had a baby and they came out with this. So the first one here is Mai Tai Buy You a Drink. I love the names of these. They're so cute. This one is like a really pretty peachy coral. Also, I wanted to point out, even though these are called ombre blushes, I really don't see that much of an ombre effect in the pan, so I just typically swirl my brush around the whole pan. I really love the next shade here. This one is called In a Purple Haze. This is the most interesting blush color I've ever seen. It's an actual lavender lilac purple, and this is so pretty. I'm wearing it today, you guys. What I like to do is layer this over top of another blush. I don't know if everyone's going to like this because this is a really difficult color to pull off, but I think it's beautiful if you layer it with like another pinky blush. And then the last one here is called the Princess DAQUIRIES, and I love the name because Princess Diaries, oh my god, I loved that movie. I still love it to this day. That's a really good one. But anyways, this is a pretty soft, like pinky, almost like a pinky coral type color. It's really interesting. It's super soft. This would look beautiful on light skin. I can't remember which one I'm wearing today. I think I'm wearing this one. And then I layered the In a Purple Haze over top. So these two combined is so flipping gorgeous. So these ombre blushes are amazing. I highly recommend you guys pick these up. Alright, moving on to the Wet n Wild Color Icon blushes. Now they reformulated these, they repackaged them, although I think the packaging is pretty darn similar to the originals. And I have to say the formula is very similar to the ombre blushes. It's that same super soft feel. They are a little bit powdery, so when you dip your brush in, I do feel like it does kick up some product. So I only got the 2 new shades. The first one here is called Apricot in the Middle, and this is a really warm coral kind of terracotta color, and this has beautiful golden shimmer. And you guys know this one is probably my absolute favorite. I've been wearing it a ton. I think it's even been in a favorites video. But this is Rose Champagne. This is more of a neutral tone blush, so this is going to work for so many different skin tones. When I don't know what blush to wear, I reach for this because it goes with any look and it pulls everything together, and I love it. So these 2, thumbs up. Alright, and then I do have some new items from their spring collection. So these are the new geometric highlighting powders. I would have to say that these are very disappointing to me because they're very soft. And I find that they're pressed so hard into the pan, you have to really dig your brush in. I suggest using a very dense brush to apply these with. I feel like I have to really build and layer and pack these on to even get any pigmentation to show up on my skin. And every time I wear these, 2 hours later, boom, it disappears. My makeup like eats it. I don't know what happens. I use a setting spray and everything, but these do not last long at all. And I typically just swatch all of them, so hopefully you can see this. It's going to be really hard to show up, but hopefully you can see that. I do like this one. I think it's my absolute favorite out of the 3, and it's most flattering on pale skin. So there's that one. The next one is called Desert Explorations, and I really do like this one as well, but again, I just wish it was more pigmented. I wish there was more to it, you know? But this one is more of a rosy gold tone, more of a pinky tone. So when you swirl on all those colors, it does show up kind of a silvery pink. So there's that one. It does have kind of a pinky flash to it. And the last one here is called Sun Ceremony. Now this one would be great for more tan skin tones. This does have more of a golden bronzy color to it. So there's that one. It's definitely more of a golden highlight. This one is probably my least favorite just because it doesn't really work with my skin tone very well, but it is still really pretty. So my thoughts on these highlighters, I was really let down. They're not that pigmented. They're very, very light. So if you don't like to wear really intense highlighters, these would be great to try out. They are limited edition, so do keep that in mind. Buy some backups if you need it. But I was actually really disappointed in these highlighters. I was expecting a lot more. Alright, the last sort of highlighter here, I have the Wet n Wild Mega Glow Illuminating Palette. Now, this is kind of the same thing but repackaged and reformulated. So this is the original Mega Glow Illuminating packaging. It came like this. Again, like the geometric highlighting palettes, this is like the same formula. This is pressed so hard into the pan, and I feel like when I stick my brush in and apply it to my skin, chunks of glitter go everywhere. They are, like these 2 darker ones are pretty pigmented, but these 2 lighter ones, you have to really dig, again, really dig your brush in. So I had to layer this over top of one of these highlighters here. I don't know, I'm just not that impressed, you guys. The formula feels not as good of quality as I was expecting from Wet n Wild. Alright guys, last but not least, this is definitely a huge hit for me. This is the Wet n Wild Photo Focus Setting Spray. Hallelujah, Wet n Wild came out with a setting spray and I love it. Love the nozzle on here. It sprays a nice fine mist. So I really like the nozzle. I love the spray. And this really does lock in your makeup. It helps your makeup last all day. And this is probably, hands down you guys, the best hardcore setting spray that I've tried yet from the drugstore. This reminds me of Model in a Bottle. Now you guys know that that stuff is a little bit more expensive. It is cruelty free, but I do own that, and this reminds me so much of that setting spray. Now this does contain alcohol in it, so do keep that in mind. It is a little bit drying on the skin, but it also prevents my foundation from wearing off throughout the day, and this stuff is amazing. It really is awesome. Alright guys, so that was it. That was my thoughts and review and swatches on some new Wet n Wild products. Don't forget to give this video a big thumbs up if you did enjoy, and if you're new to my channel, definitely hit that subscribe button. It's completely free, and I post new videos on every Tuesday, Friday, and sometimes on Sunday. I will see you all in the next video. Remember, smarter beauty is better beauty. Bye guys.